Okay, so I was going to do a follow-up video to the AMS video on the rise of the SNP because I did allude to that. However, something not really shocking but just kind of disappointing has happened, in which a good thing has turned into a bad thing, and the good thing is that, well, internet culture essentially doesn't usually have a platform in educational places, really, but today I went to a lecture and they started talking about the idea of post-truth, which is an idea that originated on the internet, basically, and that we are now living in a post-truth society, and that's basically just about the many things, the campaigns that have succeeded in the past couple of years, including first, probably the least relevant at this point is the success of the Conservative Party in the 2015 election led some people to say that, and then obviously Brexit led people to say that, along with Trump massively, which is the most recent one, and that's got a lot of people worried. However, the idea is not that we're now in a post-truth society, because we are now in a post-truth society, but it's not something new. So essentially, since the Gutenberg press, we've had the ability for mass media, and mass media means that people get the news essentially from papers, or now from television and internet. And obviously, yeah, Facebook is not a good place to get news, and that is the majority of people's news, well, not the majority, the most significant minority. However, it doesn't really make a difference at this point, because we saw under newspapers things like The Sun rising. So The Sun is Rupert Murdoch's paper in the UK, and it has two different issues, one in Scotland and one in England and Wales. The England and Wales version has done many things bad, and before it, essentially at this point, is the successor to the News of the World, and the News of the World was the one that hacked phones and stuff, and that was a massive scandal. The Sun, however, did something probably worse in most people's opinions, which is that they smoked a load of deaths and blamed the people who died themselves. And this was outside of a big football stadium, in which essentially the security got overwhelmed and people trampled over each other, tried to get out, and then they killed each other, because trampling does lead to death in many cases. And for some reason the Sun decided that it was the victim's fault, the victim blamed. So this was something that wasn't true. But yeah, a paper, one of the oldest forms of media, it is a tabloid paper, but still, that's post-truth. And even before that, we had in the 1980s people like Trump coming to success. We had Ronald Reagan, probably the stupidest president, and that's including Trump. But now is the post-truth society, now. And on top of that, the most obvious cases are television, and really obvious cases in television. Whichever side you are in, if you're in England, that is, you've had your side say that the BBC is biased, and it's plausible. It's very plausible. However, everybody knows that the Telegraph, the Guardian, these two mainstream papers are biased, and then the outskirts papers, the Daily Mail, the Socialist Worker, yeah, of course they're biased, and they don't portray the truth in a factoid sense. They portray it in an opinionated sense. And yes, this is the point of the press, but then why now that people are doing it online is that called the post-truth? Because that's just how it's been forever. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys will tell me why it is a post-truth society now and it wasn't then, despite lies being told then and nothing happening. And now lies are being told. Again, nothing's happening. I don't see the difference, honestly, but, could be wrong. So, thanks. See you.